Yeah. Fucking good, guys. You are exactly where you are supposed to be right now, man. Everything that you have gotten and everywhere that you are is exactly what you fucking deserve. Even if you're in the worst situation possible and you feel like, oh my God, the world is just coming down on me. Guys, there's always a fucking reason why you are where you are, even if you think you were born into it. There is absolutely a reason for that. Maybe it was karma from your past life that you still have to work through. Maybe you were a horrible human being in your last life, and now things are a little bit more difficult. Guys, even if you're rich and you're in a good situation, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to just have a scot-free life. Because there's a lot of people who are very depressed when they're rich because they don't have like an actual thing that they care about in life. They're just rich and everything is already handed them. Just like how Buddha initially he was the king or whatever, and the king's son, the prince's son, and they would give him everything that he could possibly desire, all the pleasures, and that wasn't good for him, so he had to pretty much torture himself. But the point is that even if you're looking at people who you think are in great situations, they actually have their own specific demons that they have to deal with. Maybe they're not as obvious, and maybe they don't seem as bad to you, but they still have them. They exist. They have their issues. Everybody has their issues. And if you have a bunch of them and everything seems like it's crashing down on you, well, guess what? That was completely your fault. Everything is your fault. You can't just sit here and tell me that someone else is to blame for any fucking thing possible. And if there's one thing I fucking learned from video games, is that people always blame their teammates. Oh, guess where else that translates? Everywhere in life. Because you could be at work. I'm sure you guys can agree with this. If you guys work a lot, you will see people blaming, oh my God, this manager. Oh my God, like if you work night shifts, people will blame the morning crew for not doing their job correctly. If you work mornings, people will blame the night shift people for not setting them up correctly for the next day. It always happens. Like, well, guess what? You can't, who the fuck cares? Even if, a lot of times, when you're blaming, for example, the night crew and you're the morning crew for not setting you up correctly, if you work at like a food place, it doesn't matter if they did or didn't set you up correctly, because most of the time you're going to be arguing about it when they do set you up just fine. You just want someone to fucking blame for struggles. But even if they don't set you up correctly, what the fuck are you gonna do about it, man? Who cares? Why are you about to get pissed off that someone didn't just hand you something on a silver platter? Okay, you gotta work a little bit harder. Maybe you gotta pick up their slack. Whatever. If they're not working hard, then they will be punished for that in the long run. People aren't just gonna get away scot-free just fucking around and not working and not doing the proper things that they're supposed to be doing. They will not be able to get away with that forever. So you can't just, maybe sometimes you do got to pick up slack for people. But guess what? You're going to transcend above them in the long run if you're picking up their slack always. If you're always picking up other people's slack, you're outperforming other people always in every area. Well, guess what? You're going to be above them. Don't be pissed off when other people are being lazy. And when you have to pick up for other people and work harder because other people aren't, how are you about to be mad about that? You are the stronger one. You're the one in power because you have the ability to do all the work and you are doing all of it. That means you are stronger than them. They are doing fucking nothing and they aren't getting anything done. They're creating a bad mindset for themselves, guys. Really, the point is that it doesn't even matter if you know it's someone else's fault. It is still up to you in your life. Because the whole night crew example, okay, cool, they didn't set you up. But what the fuck are you gonna do about it? Just complain? Like, no, you gotta keep going, and you gotta you can't just like call them up and be like, oh my God, fuck you. No, there's work to be done right now. You just have to deal with the situation that you are presented with and get through it and don't be a little bitch about it. Just fucking do what you're supposed to be fucking doing. It's not that difficult, man. Who cares about You need to stop thinking about what situation you are given and what situations you are presented with, and just pretty much deal with whatever it is. It doesn't matter if it's difficult or easy. You just have to get through it. If you're constantly blaming somebody else for things all the time, then that means that you are not in control of your own reality. And it means that you can't manipulate it. You're not allowing yourself to. Because if you're always blaming others, that means you are pretty much giving other people power over what happens in your life, instead of just taking the control back. And this is where the good part comes in. Because if no matter what, you always take things into your own hands, that means you can craft out a reality that you exactly want. You don't have to worry about an outside source giving you something or not. It's a lot less of a guessing game when it's all up to you. And when everything's up to you, then you don't have to sit around and wait for something good to happen. Instead, you can just fucking make it happen, bro. It's not about just... What are you supposed to do? Just wait for some good luck? Wait for a promotion? No, you gotta transcend above other people to be able to get that promotion. You gotta do something to get that. It's not just gonna come. You can't just... Good things aren't just going to come to you. Many people say, like, oh, don't chase like a girlfriend. Well, you have to put yourself in a situation to be able to get one. Like, that's just step one right there. So yes, I do agree that it's not good to chase women, and I'll probably make a video about that, but you still have to be in a situation where somebody can contact you in some way or go up to you, or you need to be in areas where there are women. You need to be on social media and things like that, which I don't agree with, but you know, you get the point. You can't just be completely unavailable, closing yourself off, because how can you expect to get a girl if you're intentionally closing yourself off? Like, it's just not gonna work like that, man. Like, you can't chase too much. It's all about the yin and yang, the balance. You can't chase too much, but then you also, on the same token, cannot close yourself off too much in every area of life. This applies. You need to chase a little bit. You need to put like a tiny bit of work, and don't work your fucking ass off. Like, when people tell you all you have to do is work insanely hard and you'll be good. No. If you're working too hard, then that's actually bad. You're probably doing a lot of useless busy work. If you are working like 80 hours a week, just insane, retarded hours like that. Like, look at Tim Ferriss's 4-hour work week, and you'll start in the Pareto distribution, or however you pronounce that. You will start to quickly realize that you are doing a lot of mundane things and useless tasks that aren't giving you any sort of results and are taking up the majority of your time. That's what the Pareto distribution explains. So, you really, there's never a time where you have to be working like 80, 100-hour weeks, because there's just never gonna be that much to do. It's just not fucking possible. And especially because once you get towards the end of the day, your willpower will be drained. And if you're working that much, there is just no way that you will be doing high impact activities the entire time. Guys, if you're working that much, you will default to the easy things most of the time. Because if you are telling yourself in your mind, okay, I'm going to work 12 hours a day, like if you are giving yourself numbers that you have to hit and not tasks that you have to complete, just going by the numbers, you will do the easiest things by default to get to that 12 hours a day. You will avoid at all costs the important things. So that is why a lot of people recommend that it is much more worthwhile if you just write out a short list of the most high impact things you need to do, and then accomplish those, because those are the things you're going to be avoiding always, because they're going to be the hardest. So if you just do those things, it'll probably take a short amount of time, maybe take a few hours, and then give yourself the break the rest of the time. There was another entrepreneur that Ed Mylett interviewed who said the same thing. He says, oh, I'm lazy, so I'm just going to write down a few things every single day that I need to do, like 5 things or whatever. And once he does those, he just fucks around the rest of the day. And he's like, makes hundreds of millions of dollars. It's the amount of work that you do is not directly correlated with how much wealth you have or how much success you have. It's about the quality of it and if you're doing the correct things. It doesn't matter how much you're fucking doing. It's completely useless and irrelevant, the amount of hours that you put in. So that's why it's so stupid when people say, oh my God, I work 12 hours a day. And when I fucking hear people grinding their ass off like that, I'm like, dude, I think I'm in the back of my mind, dude, you're a fucking idiot. You're wasting your time when you could just be relaxing most of that time. Like, you don't have to be working 12-hour days. It's fucking ridiculous. And all it is just like an ego boost, just making yourself feel as though you're doing more. Oh my God, I'm working 12 hours. I'm doing everything I can. Oh my God. No, you're not. You're not doing everything you can if you're working 12 hours a day, because you're probably not doing the high impact things if you're working 12 hours a day. It's as simple as that. It's fucking unbelievable. So don't think that you're doing a lot if you're working 12 hours a day, guys. Like, holy shit.